I met a gypsy.
Just the tracks, like having a rider that can go like, this is dangerous, this section, like we need changes here, we're down to the concrete here, whatever it is. And then once that person brings a topic to whoever, then there has to be some kind of action on it. Like even just little things like that, I think could probably go like a long way.
Yeah, and there used to be those guys like Reed or Carmichael would be the kind of the voice for us of like track change. You know, like after practice, I remember Reed would be the guy that would go tell Dirtworks like, hey, you got to go fix this or fix that, you know, and that's kind of went away now. And I remember A3 with the long set of whoops, like that could have been fixed.
Gnarly,
that could have been fixed after practice, you know, after a couple guys went down. But it took till after the main event of a line outside the asterisk truck of riders that went down in that section for them to finally change it. You know, so it's almost like we got to get ahead of it, and it's going to take more than a rider to kind of change that. But yeah, I'll never forget, because like I was fine in the whoops. Obviously, I got lucky with that. But
yeah.
I remember seeing so many guys down in that race, and then I heard from like Mookie and AP, and they're like, hey, like we were standing in the tunnel watching these guys just keep cartwheeling.
Carted, dude.
Yes. And he's like, we had to go out there after this, you know? And I'm just like, yeah, I never really thought about that. You know, like I was just out doing my thing. But yeah, so it's little things like that. Like it needs to get fixed before any of that shit happens. You know, like we almost lost half the pack right there, you know, just in one section.
Yeah.
I could have been fixed with after practice before the heat race. They could have just fixed the whoops, made them a little bit tamer where it's more forgiving. But again, yeah, it's just finding the right rider or big name to kind of, I guess, change that.
Who would be the guy? Like if let's say everyone's listening right now and they're like, Christian, whatever you say, we'll do. Who would be the guy that you would nominate to like play that role as maybe like the voice of that group?
So if it was a rider?
Yeah. And it was like, right, like let's say at San Diego this weekend, they implement your advice.
Yeah, I would say I'd give it to AC, because how particular, or like he's well-spoken first off, and the way he explains stuff. So like I would be like, here, AC, deal with this. You know, like you're going to explain it better than me. You're going to tell these guys the right thing and how to do it. So I'd say AC would be the guy that would handle that the best.
Dude, that's actually, I would not have said AC, but he's brilliant. Like that's actually probably the call that they should make. He's such a smart dude, and he's just a guy that doesn't really have an ego in that sense, you know, like, and he's non like confrontational. It's funny you say Chad. Like Chad's the guy. Like, but Chad's also the guy that loves conflict. Like he's so down to just like fucking just put on the walk, be like, oi. So it's like that's probably not like the writers union kind of guy. So like AC, very smart, very diplomatic, not hostile at all. And I just think that's the easiest change to make. Like you do after X practice when everyone's been on it. You know, you basically you say at the start of every, like the riders meeting, you say like, if you've got any issues that need to be addressed before the machines go on the track, before we get into the night program, you meet at this point, at this time. Adam is the representative. You guys can talk to Adam in private. And then at 11:15, you talk to Adam. 11:30, we have our meeting with Mr. Cincerello. And we just work on the changes, you know, because yeah, it's great when you have a guy like Chad that's down to go in there and you know, steamroll them and just say like, boys, we got to fucking change this. And he's got weight, so they listen. But it's another thing to just have like a process in place every single weekend. This is what we do. And sometimes there's no track changes. Sometimes there's no issues. It's we're Gucci. And then you stand there for 5 minutes, no one shows up, and then you go, happy days. But it's like when there are those times where you need that voice, like you said, A3 last year. That was one of the craziest main events I've ever seen. Like just to watch a main event, and I've spoke about it so many times, but like to watch a main event go down to these two guys of Ando and Tomac, and basically the guy who wins the main event is the guy that sends the whoops the longest into the main event. That's who wins. And Ando just like got his dick out and just swung it through that section until Eli was like, "Put it away, bro. I'm done. All right, I ain't gonna fire you. I get it." That doesn't happen that often.
No, that's true. It's like you gotta be willing to send it, and sometimes it works, sometimes it bites you. But Anderson, I love because he's gonna ride the same way every time. Like he's gonna send it, and it's either gonna work or he's gonna go into the hay bales. And it's funny because these are the guys I'm racing now, but I love like taking pieces from each guy and trying to implement it to my kind of style and stuff like that. Like I've said it before, but I love AC's way of how he pushes through the rhythms. Like no one else can push through rhythm like him, and how fast he can get through rhythm and the style he does it. I love Tomac's aggression, but he's the only one that can kind of ride that aggressive, I love the way Anderson turns with his rear wheel and leans, I love Kenny's technique and how smooth he is, so it's like I'm racing these guys, but I'm also learning, it's cool to each weekend I'll go back and be like, damn, like Kenny did that, or, Tomac was doing that. Like I got to try that. I got to try to do it. But
yeah, no, cool. It's super cool. And the sport's never been healthier in that sense. And that's why, dude, if I was at A1 and I got to talk to you after the race, I would have been like, oi, bro, read the list. read the names of the people that beat you. Like, you just fucking killed it, essentially. It's like, yeah, maybe you weren't as far up as you thought you'd be, but like, just read the list, bro. Like, to lose to those guys on one night is like, I get it. I get it. I get how you can lose to those guys. Yeah.
But so that race, I'm obviously I was kind of riding like shit. And so I wasn't watching the pit board. I'm just like doing my thing, going through this 20 minutes. I'm just like, I feel like shit. Just do your laps, ride. I'm battling with Dino the entire time. If you go watch his vlog, we go back and forth 20 times. And I'm just laughing in my head because I'm like, we both look like complete goons. Like we're both riding like shit. But then I remember going by and I'm like, I'm battling with Joey, and there's like Marvin's like right there. I could see him, and I'm like, oh, I'm probably not that bad. And then my guy gives me P14. I'm like, oh my God. Like I'm P14 right now? And so I start getting mad at myself. I'm like, P14? What am I doing? And then me and Dino are battling for 13th, like almost taking each other out. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, all right, this is it's kind of an awakening for me, but I just got to learn and try to adapt and start up front with those guys. I think it was just a freight train. And if you kind of get stuck in the back, you're stuck there. It's hard to get forward, and A1 was gnarly, obviously track conditions and people going down everywhere, but I just remember seeing my pit board and seeing P14, and I was battling to the death with Dino, and I'm just like, geez, this is gnarly, This is just crazy.
Yeah, welcome to the 450s, bro, where a battle for 14th is like just life or death.
Gnarly. And like I almost wanted to stop after Dino and talk to him, just be like, dude, I don't know what we were doing out there. I know you probably felt like shit. I felt like shit, but geez, like that was gnarly. So it's
how funny would it be if the mechanics both just lined up both of your pit boards and were like, get it together, boys. And then you both just like,
for real.
All right, I'm not going to pass you. You don't pass me. You just start riding good, and I'll start riding good behind you. And then once we ride good, then we go for the battle.
Yeah, it's like we couldn't help ourselves out. Like I was in the front of him. I would stall it or do something stupid. He'd pass me, and then he would cross rut and almost eat shit, and then I'd pass him back, and I'm just like, oh my God, what is going on right now? So, and it's crazy. It's nuts how a 450 main, there's so many guys, and anything can happen, and I just need to like I said, I need to put myself in a good situation. I need to at least start up there with those guys, give myself a chance and see what I can do. Yeah. It's like starting in 15th, I'm stuck. It's especially with how deep the field is. Yeah. So we'll see.
You go back to A3 last year. Like, what a difference it makes. Like, I'm sure you go into that main event and you've got that long ass chaos whoop section, and you're just like, oh, easy money, baby, easy money. And then like you go fast forward a year, and you're just like, this is not easy money, dude. I earned every bit of that $300 payout for 14.
No, it's like, I remember, so everyone crashed in that main A3 last year, and at one point my mechanic said plus 28. And I'm like, plus 28 seconds? No way. Like 28 seconds? No way. And now I'm sitting here battling in the back, trying to just get in the main or whatever it is. But geez, what a change of events. But I guess that's what happens. I just got to adapt and try to be better next week. It's gnarly.
We're excited to announce the launch of our new membership site, GYPSYTales.com, packed with exclusive content and perks that you won't find anywhere else. This is your chance to become a part of the Gypsy Gang. And as a special bonus, if you sign up to an annual membership, you'll be entered into the draw to win our custom-built TC125. Gypsy Gang.